This is Ernest Johnson come back at you with the Wicked New World Order series. The name of this one is Wicked Jehovah Jokers. They're jokers, you know. The Ten Commandments. How Jehovah kept their people confused. Last Day's Ministry believes that essentially the first part of the book of Genesis, approximately 13 verses, refer to the universal creator. The book of Genesis is compiled of various writings from various sources that are from different priests and compiled for the Old Testament by the rabbi or the Hebrew priest for their purposes in teaching and keeping their own laws. Much of the information in the Old Testament came from various schools of both the Middle East and also from India, Egypt, with various legends and stories rewritten and retranslated from earlier writings or from other cultures and religious teachings or other sources and rewritten specifically for the Hebrew teachings and their use. Some of these Old Testament stories and writings were based on the history of the Hebrew people, and some deal with the space tribe called Jehovah. We would also wish to explain that when being described as a being who appeared to Moses or to others, these beings who were reported in the Old Testament as Jehovah were in fact a commander of what may be in modern times be called a UFO or spaceship. These commanders on occasion check on the operation of their clones or the results of their genetic experiments, did in fact and on occasion intervene on their behalf during battles and conflicts with other people on the earth. These and many other stories make up the Old Testament reports of Jehovah. The actual names of these entities was not Jehovah and was not Lord. Lord was merely a title. In modern times, they would be referred to as commander or captain of the spaceship. But on these occasions, these lords or commanders of the spaceships would exit from the ship and walk with the earth people, and on other occasions, the entities would remain in the ship and provide certain cover or conduct certain military or impressive maneuvers with the ship, and such descriptions would be recorded and be referred to as Lord creating or action as a pillar of fire or a terrific wind or some other form or force of power. These descriptions of the Lord are often given in terms of the ship and its actions rather than the pilot, captain, or commander of the ship. But also on occasions, the entity would be described in human terms as walking with Moses. Last Day's Ministry highly suggests that these 10 commandments were essentially to become the law of the tribe for their social needs, to keep the Hebrew tribe in order, and to give them some sense of identity and to allow a social structure which would be suitable for their survival, so that the rules of the society could be enforced by each of the members of society being made aware of what the rules were. However, that Jehovah or commander, in order to make sure that these entities did not become too self-righteous and believe themselves capable of pleasing totally the commander, these entities were given conflicting rules whereby they could not possibly follow one rule without breaking another. That's why they're Jehovah Jokers. We believe that everyone should read the 10 Commandments and then read several more chapters, and you will notice that whereas you are informed that the Lord